like just doing what I was supposed to do, I guess, like go to school, get a job, blah, blah, blah. And then I didn't really feel like it was going to get me where I wanted to go in the time frame that I wanted to be there, right? And I just didn't enjoy it. So I wanted to like kind of find something else that I enjoyed. And I've always enjoyed like building things, right? So that's kind of, I went and created my own e-commerce business, and that went well for a while. And then it kind of got into the influencer thing because I had a little bit of extra time on my hands. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start airing out some of these DeFis because a lot of them are Ponzi-nomic models that don't work. They're mathematically flawed. They're economically impossible, or at the very least improbable. And I had a lot of people coming to me saying, hey, look into this project. And then I was like, man, this project sucks. I'm about to create a channel on this. And so that's what sprungboarded me into that. And then I was kind of ripping through the DeFi market, and I have 0 L's, by the way. I have 0 L's. I have 0 rugs. I have 0 Ponzi.
Wow. But
BS
I have to admit, I did see your, you had a few videos on Strong Block.
Yeah.
I
Well,
was going to ask you about that.
if you see it though, I was ripping Strong Block apart on that. I
Yeah.
was ripping Strong Block apart. Strong Block was the only project, like DeFi, traditional DeFi project that I actually ever invested in whenever the nodes came out. And then, well, there was a couple of others that I invested in as like a case study for my channel, like to basically prove people wrong. I was like, I'll put my own money where my mouth is, and I'll put it into titanium, and I'm gonna get wrecked, and I know that. But I'm gonna show you guys, and we're gonna do a case study. And what happened? I got wrecked. So yeah, so essentially, I kind of created this, I don't know, like DeFi channel where I was mathematically proving all of these things impossible, and then everybody was like, if you're so smart, why don't you do one yourself? And I was like, Wolfer
Okay.
Finance, baby, let's go.
And I mean, from what I've seen, you've been quite successful with Wolfer. I mean, you guys minted out pretty fast, and I'm pretty sure the NFTs are going for over $1,000 at the moment. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's absolutely it's doing very well. We'll put it like that. Everybody, it was a terrible market that we were in at the time. I knew that going into it, but that was when you sell a protocol like that, right? When everybody's getting wrecked, everything is really risky, and we've got something safe here that's like long term for, that you could potentially leave to your kids in 20 years. Because let's be real, like the things that we're getting into aren't these risky things. It's like we've got ETH nodes, we've got DAG nodes, we have FTMA backs, validators, we have Flux, right? These are like the top tier coins. And so yeah, we minted out in 17 days, even though every single person I ever talked to was like, you're not going to mint out at all. And I was like, well, we're going to mint out early, and I'm only giving people 21 days. And it worked. It happened. And I'm extremely happy about it. Our portfolio is, for the most part, built. We're essentially waiting. We're DCAing into Kronos right now, trying to build that Kronos validator. And we actually hit it all the way down to 10.9 cents last night. So let's go. We're getting really close to that validator node. So the wolf pack that's watching this is going to be really happy about that. But
nice.
yeah, so then that's where Presend came in, because he's watched my channel. And Larry's the genius behind the scenes. He's the guy that created all of this. I cannot take credit for it. Larry is the one with the idea, the man with the plan. I'm just the guy that facilitates all of that, right? Because I've been here before. And so he came to me and said, look, I really liked your style with Wolfer Finance, non-Ponzi-nomic, revenue share, blah, blah, blah. I've got something really good for you. Check it out. And I was like, all right, well, we just launched Wolfer Finance, so give me a couple of weeks, let me review it. And then I came back to him with a couple of questions, and my questions were, is this patented? And the answer was an unequivocal yes. So that was good. And then the second question was, who are the silent partners? Who else owns Presend? And he said, nobody. And I said, we can talk, because we need Wolfer Finance to own a part of Presend now. We'll partner up with you, which is exactly what he pitched me on. And yeah, so now we're off to the races.
Cool. And so, okay, let's talk wallet security. Let's talk, people losing money on blockchain transactions. What is essentially, what is the solution with Presend? What do you
Presend.
guys aim to do?
Yeah, Presend is the solution. It's a one-stop shop, and it's not going to be just like a one-trick pony, right? So essentially it's all about wallet transaction security. That's it. It literally stops those transactions that you're talking about from being lost in that cryptocurrency, that proverbial black hole, right? That nobody wants to go in, due to all those incompatible chains, those incompatible coins, incompatible wallets, whatever it may be. It's kind of like Apple and Microsoft back in the day. I always compare it to that, like, because Apple and Microsoft, neither of them wanted to be into, well, really it was Apple that didn't want to. Microsoft, I don't think really cared, but they did not want to be compatible with each other. So, now there's programs, softwares, all types of stuff where you can actually have Apple and Microsoft products compatible with each other. So like a Microsoft Excel, you can send it to somebody that has an Apple computer and it automatically convert it, all that good stuff. But before, it wasn't like that. That's what we're seeing in crypto right now, where these chains aren't compatible. So there's an opportunity here where you can lose a significant amount of your money if you send it on the wrong chain to the wrong wallet, or the coin just isn't essentially compatible with that wallet. So this also automates everything, and it runs in the background. It's a Chrome extension that slaps BAM right on top of your wallet, right on top of your MetaMask, and we're targeting MetaMask and Chrome first. So don't think that we're not thinking about everything else, because we're going after the exchanges next. We're getting all of the online wallets as well. We want it to be compatible with all browsers. We want it to be compatible with also the cold storage wallets, like the Ledgers and the Trezors of the world. And then if your grandma has a BlackBerry from 1994, we want it to be compatible with that too. So we're going after, everything. It's going to be compatible with everything. We're just targeting MetaMask because they have the largest market share for us to grab up front. So then, yeah, it essentially, protects you from accidentally sending Polygon Matic on ETH chain to a Polygon wallet. And if you try to do that, it'll stop it and you don't lose your money. So that's essentially what Presend does. There's a couple other integrations that we're doing, which one of them is like honeypot detection. The other one is making sure that your wallet, your recipient wallet address, doesn't change a fraction of a second before you click that transaction button on like a decentralized exchange like Uniswap. When you're going through those smaller coins, a lot of times your recipient address will change from that contract and it'll send it to a scammer wallet. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm really looking forward to this. So as a user, what are the costs associated with using Presend then?
Yeah, so the cost is literally 0.1% of the entire transaction. So very similar to a gas fee. And then there's 2 cents guaranteed. That's just for the jokers that want to come in and try to send a $5 transaction. Because at the end of the day, we are running a business. We need to generate income. We have investors. We have families that we need to provide for, right? So we want to make sure that we're making at least 2 cents on every transaction. But with that being said, to put that into perspective, if you send a $100 transaction, 0.1% of that is 10 cents, and then there's your 2 cent guarantee, so 12 cents. So essentially 99.9% of your crypto, boom, goes through, protected, no big deal. And as long as it passes all checks, right? Because it goes through 3 checks, which is checking that the wallet is compatible, checking that you're sending on the right chain, and then even if you're sending on the right chain to the right wallet, doesn't necessarily mean that that coin is compatible with that wallet or on that chain, right? So got to make sure that that coin's on that chain. Boom. Once that passes, then we send a test transaction for the most minimal amount of whatever is allowable on that blockchain. So think Bitcoin. The Bitcoin chain, it's 1 Satoshi, which is like it's like point and then 6 zeros and a 1, right? So it's very minimal amounts, and then we send the test transaction out. It calls the API, and as long as that shows up on the other end, boom, your transaction goes through, and this all happens in the fractions of a second. So it's a very minimal cost. And then there's a secondary feature that we can integrate, which we're obviously planning on integrating, that where Presend can pay for itself, essentially because we're going to be doing tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, if not billions of transactions over the lifetime of this on every single blockchain known to man, because it'll be, if it's compatible with the wallet, then it's compatible with Presend, right? So we'll be transacting on all blockchains. Now, we can actually build data where we see what the gas fees are at every like time of the day, in all days. And we can actually try to build up a database where we can optimize the gas fees. So say you're sending like $100 on ETH, it costs you 12 cents to protect that with Presend. But Presend saves you 50 cents on the Ethereum gas fee. Well, you didn't even pay 12 cents. You actually saved 38 cents just by using Presend. So there's a lot of stuff that we can do with this thing, and it's patented too. So no stealsies, you know.
That's amazing. So for your first wallets that you're integrating, what is the roadmap for that? So you're saying MetaMask will likely be first, and then what is going to roll out with Presend initially?
Yeah, so MetaMask, we're integrating through MetaMask Snaps and MetaMask Flask, which a lot of people don't know what that is because they just came out with this a little while ago. But it was basically MetaMask's solution to say, hey devs, come in and make our wallet better. So that's exactly what we're doing, and we're doing it in the right way. We're not, you know, from the get-go, from the jump, the first day. And so what we want to do is integrate through MetaMask Snaps and Flask, and that way we can be compatible with MetaMask from day one, and then we'll just have a Chrome extension where you go to the Presend website, and make sure you go to the Presend website if you want to download the Chrome extension, just like you do with MetaMask, because once this thing becomes what it's about to be, there's going to be a lot of fakes, right? So just like there's a lot of fake MetaMask downloads out there, make sure you're downloading from the Presend website. Then it just slaps right on top, and then it's on there forevermore. So yeah, MetaMask is what is in development right now, and that should be done by the end of this month. So like about the same time that we're launching that public sale, that whitelist sale, this will be available. So we'll be going back on tour because we won't have anything to sell at that point. And I'm going to be honest, we don't really have anything to sell right now because Wolf Finance is going to mint this out. But that's when we go back on tour and we say, hey, everybody, I know we were talking about this a month ago. Maybe you're one of the lucky people that got in on the NFT round, and you know you're going to make a bunch of money in the interim, you know, afterwards. But you can also use this and protect your, you know, transactions forevermore on every single wallet that you want. And then we'll grab 50 to 100,000 users right off the bat, day one. So, you know, you guys might see me again. I might say, hey, we need another AMA to let everybody know that they can download this.
And excuse my ignorance, but is it really a common mistake? I mean, obviously, for people who are new to crypto and, you know, the blockchain and everything, I mean, is it really a common mistake that people...
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is. Yeah. It's like, I'd say 80 to 90% of crypto participants have had this happen, right?
So Presend's really necessary then.
Oh yeah, it's like super necessary. So it's also necessary because this happens on exchanges. So think of like Coinbase, right? For like American-based people, and a lot of the crypto market is American-based, right? So Coinbase only, like if you want to send out Binance, like BUSD or anything that's compatible on BSC chain, right? They don't do that on BSC chain. So if you send out your BUSD to a Binance wallet address, you just lost all that because they only send it out on ETH. And the same thing with Polygon, right? If you say you want to send out Matic or USDC to a Polygon wallet, not happening. And if you did that, you just lost all your money. Yeah. So that's why it's integral also for us to target the exchanges next. And this is where these like, man, this thing's going to get nutty. I'm just going to be honest with you. This thing's going to get wild, and we're going to like, it's going to be a no-brainer where everybody starts integrating this as it's a no contest, right? Like this is on our platform and that's that. You have to pay the fees because it just makes sense. Why have the risk, right? Like no one goes out thinking that they're going to smash into a tree, right, in their car. But why take the risk of not having car insurance if somehow you just randomly you sneeze and then you jerk the wheel and you smash into a tree? Probably would be happy that you had some car insurance.
Funny analogy, but yes, I get what you mean. So you said that there was a patent, you did your patent and process, there is one.
Yeah, so we actually patented the process, which is much harder to patent. And if anybody knows anything about patents, it doesn't matter who invents it first. It matters who patents it first. We patented it first. So somebody can come out of the woodwork and be like, I invented this 8 years ago. Well, here's your cease and desist. you know, get out of the way because Presend is here now. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's patented. We patented the process instead of the code. If you patent the code, it's really easy for people to just mess with the code, one little line, get around your patent. If there's only one process to really protect these transactions, which is check the chain, check the coin, check the wallet, then nobody can really get around our patents. And so yeah, it's pretty signed, sealed, delivered on that.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, especially for like onboarding people that are new to crypto. It's like a safeguard for people. And I think that's a great way to start introducing more people to crypto. It's just going to help with the general masses to be introduced. So
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So, and then it's also for another thing, because it's not even just about like that, right? Like, because a lot of people, you know, I'm always, you know, I always get people trying to hold me accountable. I always get people coming and trying to come at Drew, you know, because of the reputation that I've built. Everybody wants to be the person that gets me on something, right? So there's always going to be that guy or that girl that's like, I've never lost money. Okay, we get it. You're infallible. You're perfect. Wonderful. You want a cookie? I'll send it over to you. Give me your address, right? But here's the thing. Have you ever sent a test transaction? Well, yeah. Okay, does that seem efficient to you? Because if you sent $100 transaction and it took you 15 minutes to send a test transaction and make sure that it was going to go through on the right blockchain, man, matter of fact, let's just say you sent $1,000 transaction. Let's up the ante, right? You would literally pay $1.02 to protect that with Presend, and it would do the test transaction for you in the fraction of a second. If it even took you 15 minutes to get and complete those test transactions to make sure the wallet's good, is your 15 minutes not worth $1.02? Come on, bro. So at the end of the day, efficiency, time is money. So this thing doesn't just protect noobs, it also makes larger market participants, more sophisticated market participants, more efficient, right? And more automated. So I think it really appeals to everybody. Like, the world is our oyster. And I say that because every single person in crypto, right? They have to have two things. They have to do two things to, you know, participate in crypto. You gotta transact. You have to buy some crypto. Where does that crypto go? Wallet. Those are the two things that we're offering, right? Is protecting said transaction to said wallet. You can't get in or out of crypto without transacting or without a wallet. So the whole 300 million market participants, which is 4% of the entire globe's population, imagine when it's 15%, right? What our market share is, the revenue that we can generate from this. We don't really have too many barriers in terms of, you know, like market share and market participants, because there's going to be like 80% of the market that isn't in the market to buy XYZ Ponzi auto compounder $1,000,000% DeFi, right? Or, you know, ABC fake node that's not even a real node, right? That's not a master node, that doesn't host a blockchain. And then there's going to be like, you know, 30-40% of the market that doesn't even want to just buy Bitcoin, right? But every single 100% of the market is in the market for wallet and transaction security. So yeah, it's kind of slick, man.
It makes sense as well as a security measure, you know, for mass adoption and bigger companies and protocols. So I mean, your involvement, is this, how does it integrate with Wolfer Finance?
Hold on one second. Can you say something? Your audio cut out.
Me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, sorry, you're good. I was just like, your audio was cutting out for a second. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay, it's the Farley Wi-Fi. Apologies.
Yeah, no, it's probably on my end. That's why I was like checking my speakers. Okay, so my involvement with Wolfer, right? So essentially what happened was Larry came to me and said, hey, I like the way you launched Wolfer. I like your model, right? The way that you did the NFTs, the Raise, the non-Ponzi-nomic. It's closed. There's only like X amount of NFTs forever, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I want to partner up with you. And then essentially I want you to take care of everything that I can't do, right? Because Larry, he's a humble man, right? And he's like, look, I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. I know what you're good at and I know what you're not good at. You're not a dev. You're not a software person. You've admitted that, right? And I'm like, absolutely. And he was like, but you can launch a project. You can bring this to the masses. And he was like, but you can't develop a software or, you know, anything like that. That's where he comes in. So he does his thing. I do mine. Now, Wolfer Finance owns 10% of Presend for this, right? Because it is a strategic partnership. And then we actually just aired this out the other day, but Larry actually gave me 10% equity of Presend as well because of everything that I've been doing in terms of like building the website, the white paper, doing all the marketing, going out, finding all the influencers, doing all the AMAs, YouTube, Twitter, everything, right? And he's just like, look, dude, I want you to have 10% of the company because no one's going to work harder than a person that has a vested interest, right? If Presend does well, then you do well. So it's just like Wolfer, like you are like just gung-ho, just banging it out for Wolfer, right? That's why you made the deal that you made for Wolfer, getting them 10% equity or 10% of the net income every single month, and then getting them to mint early at a discount and wild stuff. And he was like, but you didn't even think about yourself. So here you go. And basically he was like, you proved yourself. I appreciate it. Let's do this. And so, yeah, at the end of the day, Wolfer Finance owns 10%. I own 10% so that I can continue to be myself and go out and build this thing, because that's what we want to do. Like, I'm going to be the guy that's going out and trying to get Coinbase to integrate this onto their entire platform. I'm going to be the guy that goes to MetaMask and I'm like, hey, we got 100,000 users. There's obviously a use case here. Let's get something moving, right? And I'll be the guy, the business guy that's doing all that type of stuff. Larry does everything to get the wallets integrated in the background. And we are simpatico, right? We're on the same page and everything just kind of runs from there. So yeah.
So, the Wolfer community then must be extremely satisfied with this new element of investment.
I hope they are. I hope they are. I do my best to try to facilitate these types of things for them. And this is what I told them I would do in the beginning. But the consensus, the overall consensus is very positive, right? And they're kind of rallying and saying, like, let's mint this thing out in 24 hours. I'm like, if you guys mint this thing out in 24 hours, dude, you guys are some gangsters. That's all I can say, you know.
Yeah, can we talk a little bit about yeah, I want to know a little bit more about the NFT raise and what that's going to look like for Presend.
Yeah, so there's 7,500 NFTs. They're $250 a piece. It starts on October 1. That's when the whitelist starts. So if anybody wants to go and sign up for the whitelist, we don't make you go to the Dead Sea and collect sand, or, you know, fly up to the moon and get me some moon rocks and deliver them to my house in order to get a whitelist spot. I'm not like that.
So you just sign up essentially.
Boom. Go to the website, click whitelist, enter your wallet address, and you're signed up, right? And then I think it's like how many NFTs you want to mint, all that stuff. Same way that we had it set up with Wolfer. But yeah, no red tape. And then secondarily, Wolfer Finance actually gets their own minting round, which is prior to that. So I'm just going to be honest with you. Nobody's probably going to get any NFTs unless they buy it off of the open market, because I see, like, the Wolfpack is strong. We just minted out 5,000 NFTs for $200 or $500 in 17 days. So these are the same people that are going to be minting this, right? And these NFTs are going to be 7,500 at 250. So it's significantly less, right? And they're actually getting a discount. If they mint 1 or 2, they get it at 225. If they mint 3 or more, they get it at 200. And spoiler alert, we're the first ones to do that. So what better of a way for a software company that's supposed to be innovating the entire cryptocurrency space to also be innovating NFT smart contracts? Because I can't name, and if somebody can, please tell me, because I'd love to see it. I will admit that I'm wrong, but I'm going out on a limb and saying that there is not been anybody on Binance Smart Chain that has actually done it this way, where it'll read. This thing's nuts. Our guy that developed this and he's an animal, like, real talk. He literally made it to where it reads the Wolfer Finance NFT contract in real time. And if you have a Wolfer Finance NFT, you can mint. And if you don't, it gives you a little sad face and says you can't mint. And then if you put in 1 or 2, it adjusts the price right then and there. And then if you put in 3 or more, it adjusts the price. So like, and this is all one contract. This isn't like, hey, you have to go to a different web page if you want to do it. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, that's essentially the NFT minting. And then all of the funds that come in from that, after we pay out any expenses, salaries, affiliates, stuff like that, all of that's going into marketing. We're taking this to the global scale. We're taking a crypto.com approach, right, where they had this massive blow up over a year. And I'm not saying we have a $500 million marketing budget like they did. I'm not saying that. Absolutely not. We don't have that much money. I wish we did. But at the end of the day, we're taking that type of approach. And we have this massive affiliate system where our affiliates are fixing the game, because you don't have to pay anything to use Presend, right? Unless you use it. You don't. So to download it, it's free. It's not like a Yield Nodes affiliate where you have to pay $500 guaranteed in order to use that affiliate, or you get no value. With Presend, you download it and you get value no matter what, no matter how much or how, many times or how little times, how few times you use it. So I think the turnover and the click-through rate on the affiliates is going to be exponentially greater. If somebody has like a 5% click-through rate per view, which is very high, on an affiliate where you actually have to spend money and invest money, I think these guys are going to be getting 20, 30, 40% click-through rates on Presend, which then gets us active users, right? And so what those NFTs get you, to kind of pull that full circle, is access to a 10% dividend pool of Presend's net income. And that might not sound like a lot, right? But when you're talking about 10%, when you're raising anywhere from 1.5 to 1.9 million cumulatively on this NFT raise, and you're talking 10% of a company that's going to be generating hundreds of millions of dollars by protecting billions of transactions, I'd say that's pretty significant. Then the second thing, and the most bullish thing about that, is that we have these milestone bonuses, because we listened to people and we heard people when they were like, yo, that's not enough. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's see what we can do. Milestone bonuses double up the dividend pool. So that means institutional investors, Wolfer Finance, and retail investor NFT dividend pools, or the members of those dividend pools, right? It doubles it up. So if they were making 10% that month, now they're making 20% because it got doubled up. And what I mean by that is these milestone bonuses are in terms of active users. So as soon as Presend has 50,000 active users, boom, double up, right? And we double up the income in that dividend pool. Then it goes to 100,000, and that's only for that month, right? The month that we hit it in. And this is, I'll get into why we're doing this in a second, but goes to 100,000, 250, 500, 750, 1 mil. Then 2.5 mil, 5 mil, 7.5 mil, 10 mil. These are active users. And it'll continue going on from there, but let's get to 10 mil first, right? And so then what we do is basically we're giving away anywhere from 32% of our net income, right? Because 10% goes to Wolfer, 10% goes to the retail member pool, the dividends for the NFT, the 7,500 NFTs. Then we have an institutional round where you have to come in with at least $50,000, but they are tiered, right? And it starts at 250,000 and it caps at 2 mil. So if they raise 2 mil, they get 12.5% dividend pool. If they raise 250,000, they only get a 2.5% dividend pool, and it's tiered up in terms of it's like every $500,000. So anyways, with that being said, that's 32% of our net income, 32.5% if everything maxes out. Even if we double those dividend pools up, we're still only giving away 65% of the net income. And the way I see this is that the reason why we're doubling up those dividend pools is because it's incentivizing everybody else to get on their horse and go out there. And this goes for affiliates too. The affiliates, they get doubled up. So the affiliates that are making 10% of the fees that anybody that uses their affiliate bring in, they get 20% in that month. So this is going to get everybody on their horse. They're going to be grabbing their megaphones, their bullhorns, boom. They're going up to the top of the mountain. They're going to be preaching the Presend gospel. They're going to be telling everybody about Presend. And anybody can have an affiliate too. John from down the road that mows his lawn every Tuesday, that guy can have an affiliate too. He's not going to get as large of an affiliate. They're going to get 5%. As like the, you know, the influencers and stuff, they'll get 10%. But everybody can be involved in this. Everybody can make money and everybody can save money. That's the whole point. So, you know, with that being said, it's not like we don't have a chain, we don't have a coin, we don't have any way to like fake this money, right? Like the money comes in from real people transacting on real blockchains in real time with real wallets doing real transactions, right? So at the end of the day, we have an inability to fake this because we're not just like some coin protocol that just prints off our own coins. And it'll be airdropped to them in BUSD every single month. And so obviously I'm not the creator of BUSD. Wish I was, but I'm not. So, you know, basically what I'm saying is Drew can't fake the income. So yeah, that's kind of like the NFT round in a nutshell, you know.
I think it will be hard to get your hands on an NFT.
Yeah, it sounds that way. I mean,
it's going to be
great
very
salesman, and then no one can get in on it.
Yeah. So, and then it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy the way that we have it set up, where like say that we're at like 90,000 users, right, active users, and there's a week left in the month, right? What do you think people are going to do if they know that they're going to make double if we get 10,000 more users? Like, they're all going to just be yelling Presend, sharing, liking, and what do you think the influencers are going to do, right? They're all going to be talking about Presend to try to get those extra 10,000 users so that they can get double up for the month, right? And the way I look at it is like, we saved the money on marketing, right? By everybody else going out and preaching the gospel. So why don't we incentivize them and basically show them appreciation for doing that, right? And that goes for the influencers and just the people that are going out and regular people, right? So, and then the influencers, they're not going to like this, but it is calculated. So instead of giving them the traditional affiliate, right, we're giving them an affiliate where they have to get vetted first. We got to make sure you're actually the influencer, all right? So that way Sarah can't come and say she's Drew Wolfer, right? But other than that, the whole point is
get away with that.
Yeah. So the whole point is that we're going to give them an affiliate, and it's only for 365 days. So that means, like, Sarah, if you were to use my affiliate on a wallet, right, and you were to sign up under, you click my link, and then you sign up that wallet under that affiliate, I would get 10% of what your wallet brings in fees every single day or every single month for 365 days. Now, on the 365th day, or 366th day, it falls off. So I no longer get any commissions from your sign up. The reason for that is because say we have a 1 million subscriber YouTuber that gets like 50 or 100,000 people to sign up for their affiliate. Well, they'll just never talk about us again because if we let it run, they just get paid for life. That's not good for us. We want them to continue talking about it, incentivize them to talk about it. See what I mean? So yeah, that's why we did it that way.
Okay.
Makes sense. I just want to make sure that all the live people listening and tuning in, if you have any questions, to ask them in the chat. We're going to get to them very shortly. I see some things pulling in. So one of my questions is, will the NFTs right now for Wolfer, they are available for purchase on OpenSea. So if you wanted to like skin to mint one for Presend, you can still grab them on OpenSea. What's the price looking like?
I think they're about $1,000 now.
We'll just say it's rather large. And I'll be honest with you, I watch to a certain extent the NFTs. I'm pulling them up right now to see what it is. Yeah, I actually watch the NFTs, and there's literally only like 15 available for sale, like at any given time. That means out of 5,000 NFTs, there's only 15 available for people to actually purchase. Yeah, there's 18 right now, and some of them are like 100 ETH. But the affordable ones are literally 0.67, 0.68, and 0.7 ETH. And then the floor price jumps to literally 1 full ETH or 1.4 ETH. So yeah, it's going to be hard to get something like that.
I remember when that was, sorry, $250, $350, I think back in March.
What'd you say?
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, no, I heard. I just couldn't hear what you said.
Okay, sorry. I think it's my internet. I'll let Nicole go ahead.
Oh, it's all good. But yeah, no, the Wolfer NFTs they minted for 500. Yeah, back in it was June, from June 10th all the way up to June 27th. So they've jumped a little bit. And honestly, if it wasn't for those couple of little people down there at like the 0.67, I mean, it'd be like a 1.5 ETH floor price right now. So, and like I said, there's only like 15 even available for sale. So I think that tells a lot in and of itself, is that literally nobody even wants to sell their NFTs.
Sure.
You know?
It's a good problem. It's a really good problem.
Good problem.
Yeah, it is.
Drew.
Can you just talk a little bit too about like your team? If you have a team, I know there's you and one other person.
Yeah.
Maybe some devs are probably on your team, but maybe just give like a brief overview of who you're working with and their value to you. And
yeah, absolutely. Let me get this this NFT thing off of my whatever off of my screen really quick. So anyways, we do have the team. There's obviously Larry. He takes care of everything, talking software related, dev related, stuff like that. We do have a development team as well, and they are documented. They're on the website. They're in the white paper. And I think there's 2 technical devs. And then I think the devs have 2 assistants. So I think technically it's like a 4-man team. And then there's one guy that really spearheads everybody, and they're based out of New Jersey. Okay, so at this point, that is our team. Myself, Larry, all the devs. And we will obviously, once we grow, have to bring in a support staff. And then we have, I guess you can technically call our website guy, like our web developer. He's technically on the team, even though I haven't technically hired him yet, because we're waiting until after the raise for all that. And then there'll be, the support staff, then there'll be the marketing staff. And Larry is working right now on having a chief technology officer that basically oversees all of the development themselves. And those people are going to be expensive. I'm just going to be honest with you. That person is going to be very expensive if you want somebody that's good. So, and we have to be very careful and picky and choosy about who we bring in for that type of a role. So, yeah.
And in terms of like revenue projection and staffing and the growth, do you feel like you will bring on more like of a VC model where people are investing more lump sums of money to support it, or do you think it'll be self-sustainable in the long run?
Yeah, no, we'll never probably ever take any more money. Maybe in the future, maybe there's a potential to get like one more VC round and give them like 5% of the net income or something like that. But I think bringing in more money for us would be degenerative, because it's like bring in 2 mil and you give up 5% of your protocol for that 2 mil, and you could have just developed it organically, right? I think it would make more sense for us. So like, I'll just put it into perspective for you, right? Say on the top 24 blockchains in the top 100 coins right now, that's just them. We're talking the ETHs, the AVAXs, the FTMs, all the way down to the Thetas of the world, okay? They're transacting 14.6 billion times a year, and that's in the bear market. If you go back and you look at the statistics on how many transactions they were all doing per day, before the bear market, it was like 5x this. So I mean, it could be 70 million, right? And so, or 70 billion transactions. So if we protected 1 billion transactions in a year, which is again only less than 7% of just those transactions on the top 24 blockchains, doesn't take into account any of the other ones, only takes into account a bear market, and literally they were worth $50 per transaction on average. That would bring us in 7 cents per transaction. If you times that by 1 billion transactions, it's $70 million. So for a dividend pool that raised 1.5 to 1.9 million would be getting $7 million, right? For another dividend pool that raised up to 2 million, which would be the institutional investors, they would be getting essentially like 8.5 million, right? And then Wolfer Finance would be getting $7 million, right, for that year. So, and this is when crypto, again, that's less than 7% of the entire transactions that are happening per year on those blockchains in a bear market with 4% global adoption rate. Imagine when this thing has 15% global adoption rate. Imagine when there's 1 billion crypto market participants with 50 billion wallets, right? Oh my gosh, like it's insane, the trajectory on this thing. So I think calling this a potential Google back in 1998 isn't a far stretch. Like Google became $1 billion company after the internet, right? And that was literally where Google was at back in the 90s, was a 4% adoption rate, 4 to 5% adoption rate on the internet. All right, it was a startup company, didn't have that much revenue. Then the internet boom came. Here's the difference between us and Google. They had competition. We don't. We're the only game in town. Everybody got to come to us and say, hey, please, sir, may I have some more? I'm all over Twist. I need some Presend, right? And we'll say, yeah, license it out and bring in that money. And we also want a portion of your fees, baby. Business is business. Business does business. So that's where we're going to be looking at. That's what we're going to be looking at doing. So yeah, I think this thing, its trajectory is insane. And I think saying that it could be making tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars a year, relatively quickly, and by relatively quickly, I mean within the first few years, right? First 5 years of this thing is going to be nuts. And I think the first year or two is going to be nuts. I want to have 1 million users by the end of year one. I want to have 100,000, 50,000 users day one, right? And I think we do a pretty good job of marketing it. And I don't think, especially through the affiliate programs and stuff like that, I don't think it's going to be a tough thing to get 50 or 100,000 users right off rip.
No, I don't think so either. So I mean, you talked a little bit about your presumptions with Presend. So what does the timeline look like?
The timeline for what, like for scaling?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want, my goal is, kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, is I want 50 to 100,000 users like right off the bat. I want people to be hitting those milestones immediately, and then I want to hit a milestone every month. To be honest with you, I would like to hit at least like 1 or 2 milestones a quarter. To be honest with you, that's like bare minimum. So, in terms of having like 7 figures worth of users, if we had that in the first 365 days, I think that would be a huge win. I want it in 6 months, obviously, because I'm me, and I think that we need to do things faster and with a better trajectory than what most other projects would do, because I hold ourselves to a higher standard. But yeah, I think, having 7 figures worth of users within that first 6 months to a year, I don't think that's out of the question. And then, within those first couple of years, I want to have, 5, right? I want it to start getting exponentially greater.
Sorry, so you think those figures are achievable then?
Oh yeah, especially for the simple fact that, and this is why we targeted MetaMask specifically, because MetaMask has 30 million active users right now. So if we wanted 100,000, that's literally 1/3% of just the MetaMask users. Doesn't even account for exchanges, doesn't even account for all the other wallets in the world,
It's exciting. I'm really actually excited.
And if we get a partnership, think about this too. Think if we get 100,000 users right off rip, okay? And then that puts us on MetaMask's radar, where they're like, oh wow, you're the only solution that built on MetaMask snaps that actually makes sense, that's actually doing anything, that's actually legit. Cool. We want to talk to you, right? And then say we get MetaMask to integrate this into their wallets. 30 million users. Boom. Just like that. Imagine if we get Coinbase to put this into their system, right? Tens of millions of users. Day one, right there. You see what I'm saying? So we don't even just have to develop all of this organically. We can strike up strategic partnerships with these things these wallets that actually it will make sense for, and it's almost a no-brainer for them to do it. So yeah, I don't think it's out of the question at all.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this, and I like to ask any entrepreneur this really, because I want to know, if someone came to you with a number for your protocol and everything that you've just created, and they're like, look, we really like what you're doing, we're going to give you XYZ $1 million, what would that number look for you?
$250 million to MetaMask.
There you go.
Yep. And so,
the confidence, I love it.
But there's a caveat to it, and this is where the entrepreneurial comes in, right? I also want 5 to 10% of the income that comes in off it, because we built this, all right? And we have investors and we have people that we have fiduciary intent for. So I want those people to still be taken care of for the rest of their life. And to put that into perspective, right? Let's put that into perspective, because people are like, oh, $250 million, let's do smoke crack. Yeah, okay, let's do the math then really quick, because I already know how people think. So $250 million, MetaMask. All right, bet. They've got 30 million wallets. The average, that's active users, not wallets. The average user, let's say most people have like 4 different MetaMask wallets. Let's say they got 2, 60 million wallets. Okay, let's say that they transact 2 times a week. Most people are transacting every day, but we're going to say that they only transact 2 times a week. That means 8 times a month, right? Okay, let's say that they're doing on average $100 transaction. All right, so we've got 60 million wallets, right? We've got 60 million wallets, times that by 8 times per month that they're transacting, okay? Now, if they're doing $100 transactions on average, I'm not saying everybody does a $100 transaction every time. I'm saying if you add all the transactions up, divide them by 480 million transactions, it equals $100 per transaction. Right. So let's divide that. Let's say that they're doing $100 transactions, and then let's times that by the 0.10, right? The 0.12 that we would be bringing in from those transactions, which is now what MetaMask would be bringing in from those transactions, because they're rolling it into their wallet and they're saying this is non-negotiable, you have to pay this. So you got to remember that. So let's times it by the 0.12 cents, $57.6 million that they're bringing in every single month, MetaMask ROIs in 5 months.
Wow.
Winning.
$250 million, not out of the question. Let's get it.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna start asking some of these questions from our lovely audience. The first question I see is from Fish Tank. I can see this being useful for work-related payments to increase trust between 2 parties, even on a gasless blockchain. Are there any plans to explore that route in the future?
Absolutely. I'm glad that they asked that question, because that was something I forgot to add. So there's a secondary aspect to this where we can actually be like signers, right? Where we can say, because a lot of people are like, well, you know, what if I'm sending to the wrong wallet? Because it's an algorithm, right? It's set number of parameters. So as long as it checks all parameters, that transaction's going through. So if your I don't know, wallet address that you're sending to ends in 4066, and then you send it to 4067 accidentally, and that is still on the same chain, same coin is accepted and all that stuff, it's going to go through. So for people that are sending large transactions like that, we can actually put an additional security feature in here, and this isn't something we're doing right now. We have to focus on what we're focusing on. You guys got to give us the time to develop this. That's why we're not coming out and saying we're compatible with every wallet known to man, because we're not. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did. I wish that I could just snap my fingers and it works, right? But it doesn't, so that's why we're targeting MetaMask first. But we can create a pin, right? That whenever you create the transaction, say that the guy that wants to send $100,000 to this guy or this girl over here, right? They can put a pin on that, and the person that's receiving it, they can only unlock that transaction, and it'll only go through if they have a pin. See what I'm saying? That way you understand that it's going to the right wallet address. If they don't have the pin, the transaction stops. See what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. Another question we have is, what about swap options? I mean, since SP is able to check tokens and chains and stop the transaction, in that case, could it offer a token swap with additional fees compatible on the destination chain?
Are they talking about like actually swapping inside of Presend?
I'm not too sure. Maybe they can clarify.
So I can address that kind of, right? So Presend is not a wallet, all right? It slaps on top of your wallet. So if you're swapping, you would actually be swapping inside of MetaMask, right? And Presend will work with NFTs too. If you go to send an NFT on the wrong chain, it'll stop it as well, because an NFT contract is just a contract address. It's just like every other token. You can add it to your MetaMask, boom, boom, boom. It's all good. So it works on NFTs as well. But as far as like swapping inside of Presend, that's not even a thing, because we're not a wallet. We're a software that goes on top of it.
And you just mentioned that it does work on NFTs. That was another one of the questions. So as it snaps onto MetaMask wallet, I guess it's just clarifying the address that it's being sent to, or how does it work with NFTs?
It does the same exact process. It checks the chain, it checks the contract address, it checks to make sure that that wallet is compatible with that contract for that NFT. And then if it is, it's good. Obviously, there's no test transaction, right? We can't do a test transaction. But other than that, because, you know, unless you have like a million of the NFTs, we could send one. But yeah.
Perfect. I'm just gonna double check the Discord questions. Someone said they're picking up 25.
Yeah,
And
not surprising.
There's not 25 available though.
Right.
Yes. There we go.
Yeah, to be honest with you, like the best chance for people to get in, and I'm just being real, like I think I've painted my, you know, entire platform around just being honest and being real with people and letting them know. And I think I've proven that the things that I say usually actually they come to fruition, especially through the Wolf of Finance launch, right? Because we had a lot of naysayers and everything I said happened. Your best chance to get in is the institutional round. I'm just going to be honest. It's 50K. That doesn't mean that you have to have 50K. That just means that you got to find 50K. So you got 10 people that have 5K a piece. That's 50K. You got 50 people that have 1K a piece. That's 50K. It has to be in increments of 1,000, because that's what the NFTs are going to be worth, is 1,000. So if you put in $50,000, you're going to get 50 NFTs. So don't be asking people to put in $20 and crowdfunding it. You're not going to be able to break it up like that. It's got to be people that bring in at least $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. So,
Nice.
you know, think outside the box, man. At the end of the day, you know, modern problems require modern solutions, and you know, I try to offer those up.
Someone just said that to me earlier today. Someone else had a question also. Please let us know if Presend is internationally patented or US only.
Yeah, the way that patents work is you can't patent internationally until you have it done. There is no provisional patent for international patents, worldwide patents. But if you know very much about the patent market, you know that if you got something patented in America, it's pretty much patented worldwide already. So when the Chrome extension comes out, please believe that thing is getting patented worldwide. And yeah, like I said, no stealsies. But our hands are tied, right? We're shackled right now. We cannot file a worldwide patent until we have the actual Chrome extension done, and that we can show them that it's done, and then give them the process to patent. But with that being said, nobody can beat us to market anyways, because they got to do the same thing. And let's be real, ours is almost done. So good luck.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Those are all the questions we have.
Oh, sorry, there's mosquitoes everywhere. I'm just trying to.
Oh man, that's like Miami. You know?
I'm just getting
I feel your
attacked. I've
pain.
been sitting here silently, like just getting attacked.
You just swatting.
I had to get that one, but you know, it's all so exciting, and I mean, you must be thrilled about your participation and your involvement and just the work that you put in. You're a very busy man, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm jacked.
It's safe to say that it's going to be very hard for most people to get a taste of what's going to happen, what's going to go down. But I think that, you know, there is an opportunity, like you said, people to kind of get other people together, and you know, crowdfunding's not really an option, but
yeah,
you know,
no doubt. Yeah. people do whatever they need to do. At the end of the day, even if you don't invest, man, use Presend. Like, there's no reason not to do it. It's like not having health insurance. Why would you not have health insurance? So yeah, I mean, this is health insurance for your transactions. So at the end of the day, even if I don't have anything to sell you, like an NFT or anything, man, you can still use the software, and you can still help us take over the global market and protect yourself and save money in the process. And I want to beat this home really quick. Say Presend saves a $100 transaction. It costs you 12 cents to save that $100, right? And that $100 is still there. So you got $99.88, right? That pays for your next $833 worth of $833 $100 transactions on Presend. Just to put that into perspective, one transaction that we save you pays for hundreds of transactions in the future. So yeah, lots of ways that Presend pays for itself.
Agreed. So right now, if you go on the Presend website, you can launch Presend now, but
Yep.
the protocol, it's not fully launched.
Yeah, that's what we call the MVP, right? The minimum viable product, okay? So that's just showing people what we're developing, that we have a working product, so that people can go out and say, hey, I tested Presend on testnet, on Binance Smart Chain, on Polygon or ETH or something like that. Yeah, this thing's legit, it's working, I get it, blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. So that's essentially what that's for. But at the end of the day, we have not put a lot into the development of that because there's no reason. It's degenerative, right? No one is going to use it that way. Everybody is going to use it as a Chrome extension or through the backend APIs of exchanges, or in whatever way that we develop it into the future for other wallets and stuff like that. So yeah, absolutely, you can test it, but just know at the end of the day, it's going to be a snap, click of a button, download it, runs in the background forever. It'll be easier than setting up a MetaMask, and yeah.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it. Thank you so much for tuning in with Blockchain Babes.
We appreciate it a lot, and we've really enjoyed having you on, Drew. You've been great.
Yeah,
my internet's been giving me a lot of trouble. I've had all the screens freeze on me, but that's fine.
Well, you're still moving on my screen, so that's a plus.
I've had both of you guys just still images.
Well, hopefully we don't have like weird faces in the images, but
I've been screenshotting them.
scary. So.
No, but yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I can see this is going to be a really successful project, and I'm excited to see what it entails.
Yeah, let's go. Thank you for having me on, and thank you to everybody for showing up. Time is precious, time is money. I appreciate you spending it with us, talking about Presend. It means the world to us. So I just want everybody to know that.
Yes, and all the links are below in the video. So if you want to follow all of us on Twitter, join the Presend Discord, learn more. The link's also there. You can check out the website and join Blockchain Babes too. If you have any questions, we're always there to answer. And I think that's it, guys.
Awesome.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Bang on that notification bell.
Yes.
All right, see you guys later.
All right, thanks, Drew.
Thank you so much. All right, have fun.